Vatican and China have renewed a historic deal which allows both a say in appointing Catholic bishops in the country. Now, this development comes after years of snail-pace negotiations between both sides. The bishop appointment deal has now been renewed for 2 years.
10月22日，中国同梵蒂冈经友好协商，决定将关于主教任命的临时性协议延期2年，双方将继续保持密切沟通和协商，持续推动改善关系的进程。这是对中国驻美国媒体和记者的最新政治打压和污名化。中方对美方的无理行径表示坚决反对和强烈谴责。美方有
China had severed ties with the Holy See in 1951, forcing Catholics to choose between the two. For years, China's 12 million Catholics have been split between a government-run association and an unofficial underground church loyal to the Vatican. But the Vatican finally sealed a historical provisional agreement with Beijing on the 22nd of September 2018. Now, this comes as the Vatican and China are slowly moving toward restoring diplomatic relations after almost 70 years, with Pope Francis working hard on repairing ties with the country. While some have hailed the Beijing-Vatican deal as a pragmatic compromise, others fear that China's underground churches will become even more marginalized. However, the renewal has come into conflict with U.S. President Donald Trump's efforts to push on a religious freedom theme against China in his campaign for a second term. Now, this New Deal renewal will give China unbridled power. It will have power not only on the nomination of bishops, but on other questions like normalization of the life of church in China. International and independent strategist Andrew K.P. Leong is joining us live from Hong Kong for more on this story. Good evening and thank you for being with us. Now, the bishop appointment deal has been renewed for another 2 years. Just how significant is the extension of this deal?
Well, first of all, the arrangement has been working quite well on both sides. For as far as the Vatican is concerned, it still retains its authority, the so-called papal supremacy, in finally approving these appointments. And as far as Beijing is concerned, they have the right to nominate the bishops, which in their view would not be engaged in subversive activities. So I think that for the past 2 years, the arrangement's been working very well on both sides. Now, as far as the Vatican is concerned, the China as a nation with 1.4 billion people is a huge a nation for recruiting more Catholics. Don't forget there are already a very large Christian community in China. By some estimates, there are now as many as 100 million Christians in China. A lot of them are in underground churches. The vast majority are Christians rather than Catholics. But then as far as Catholics are concerned, there are still something, by various estimates, something like 10 to 12 million Catholics in China. And of course, China is a multi-religious nation, along with Christians, Protestants, Catholics. There are also Muslims. There are about 23 million Muslims in China, let alone other Buddhists, Taoists, you name it. And there are so many different people following different religions in China. So it's a huge nation for recruiting more Catholics.
Andrew, this move is sure to upset America. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had visited and requested the Holy See to not go ahead with this deal. Well,
don't forget that the other reason why Beijing is happy with the Vatican renewing this agreement is the fact that the Vatican doesn't seem to be 100% anti-Beijing. Don't forget that recently Pompeo was requesting an audience with the Pope, but he was refused. So I think that this shows that how much importance the Vatican has attached to better relationships with Beijing.
Right. What does this mean then for the Catholics in China, those who were loyal or are loyal to the Vatican and previously had to practice their religion in secrecy and at huge risk, there is a fear that they'll be further marginalized.
Well, that's precisely. Under this agreement, the Beijing authorities would be a little bit more comfortable with some of the people in the underground churches. And there could be, because of this agreement, those supposing practicing their worship in underground churches could well be encouraged to come up more openly, and the authorities would be less worried about them. So I think it's all conducive to a better environment for either Christians or Catholics practicing their religions in China.
Andrew, thank you very much for joining us there for all the latest on the renewal of that deal.